Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Good to be back. My name is Dean. My hair looks great today. I just want to say that. It's so nice having hair. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have hair. They're follicularly challenged. I have hair. And is it Arctic Blonde? Yes. But I am having, if you're watching this on YouTube, Dean Blundell Show, Crier Media on YouTube, I look sensational today. Like really good. Like a snack. I don't know how I can control it. I don't even know how this happens. How at 50 do you look this great? I don't know. Let's ask a gentleman who also looks great. Past 50, I believe he's 60, which is really, really hard for me to imagine because I used to watch this guy's show all the time when he wasn't 60. Please welcome to the program from Kenny versus Spenny. Spencer Rice, ladies and gentlemen. Spenny, you're 60.
I like a little more height on your hair. Sometimes you get very high up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's your bed pressers or what it is, but it looks good. But let's not get carried away.
No, I'm not getting carried away. I'm just saying I think today I look spectacular.
There you go. Dean Blundell.
I just want to say, yeah, but like as far as hair goes, for a man of aging wisdom, this is the balls. Like, I mean, have a look at it. It's really nice.
Is there any thinning on top?
No. See, no, I don't even have the crown on the back.
All right.
I mean, I feel blessed today because I have hair, and I'm not running it in because of the last time we talked about this, about you dyeing your hair and not having a lot of it. I'm not saying anything. That's not why I'm bringing up my incredible hair. I just noticed it when we started. So
actually, my wife keeps telling me I'm thinning on top, but then I went to the woman that cuts my hair, and she said I'm not. So I came home and I fucking destroyed my wife for making me more miserable than she usually makes me.
Does she do that just to get you, or are you actually losing some hair? Like, is she always kind of?
Well, it's
you're paranoid to begin with, so that can't help.
I'm completely paranoid.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are we going to talk about, Dean? It's just so.
What do you want to talk about? And you got a lot to talk about because you have been popping off on Twitter.
Yeah. Let me just start with just a story about how absolutely foolish I am, because I have to be honest. I lost my Facebook account, and apparently it's never coming back. So that's 80,000 people that follow me that I'm no longer able to communicate with. Now, ask me how that happened.
How did it happen? That was my next question. Thanks for asking me.
This is worth it. So one day I get a email forwarded to me from a former guy I used to work with, and it said that there's a podcast in South Africa that's very big, and they want me on the show. And here's the clincher: they're going to pay me $5,000 for an hour. So I almost came in my pants. I was so I can't even tell you how excited I was.
Are you big in Australia?
It's Kenny versus Spenny. I said South Africa.
South Africa. I'm sorry, South Africa. Yeah, my bad.
You're big in South Africa? I don't know. We are big in Australia. Anyhow,
so you can kind of believe it, right? Like because you know that you pop off in other countries. Kenny versus Spenny is a bit of an institution in certain places, bigger in certain countries than it is in others. So not uncommon to get an email from another country saying, "Hey, we'll pay you $5,000 to come on the podcast."
Very uncommon.
Okay, so it is
completely uncommon, especially from you. But anyways, So they reach out to me that once they hear that I'm very excited to take their money, and they say, we have a guy who's going to call you on a Zoom call, and he is going to go through what you need to do on your Facebook account in order to A, get paid, most importantly, and B, appear on the podcast. Long story short, it was a bogus Zoom site. I had no idea. They fucking completely hacked my Facebook page. And I don't know what to do about it. So if anybody knows what I can do, please reach out to me on X, which is the second last of my social medias. And don't be greedy, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what happens.
Okay, so back up. I have a couple of Facebook similar stories to tell, but I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know. So you've got 80,000 people on Facebook, this little site you've been curating for how long? How long did you have?
Years. Yeah.
Like
Kenny's been doing it longer than me, but I finally got on board. I have no sense of time. I have literally a medical disorder about time, but say 15 years. I don't know.
Okay, you can't just keep dropping bombs like I've got a medical disorder about time and then just like
I
wheezing
do.
right past
It's a chronology disorder. Look it up on Google. I was absolutely what do you call it when a doctor tells you have it?
Well, you probably didn't know what
I
it
don't know.
was.
I remember most things, but I don't know when they happen. And I didn't know. I just thought I was dumb, which I am as well. But it turns out that it's an actual. I think the word chronology is in the disease name or whatever.
Yeah, a chronological disorder, conditions that last 1 year more. No, there's no chronology disease. There's no time disease.
Well, then
I don't see it.
Okay, well, you think I'm lying? Why would I lie about that? Like, come on.
Okay, so back. So okay, you've got a medical condition that precludes you from understanding time. Okay, I get it. I'm not gonna, dude.
It precludes me from knowing when things happen.
Okay.
So I usually go. I was there when I was 16.
And it could have been yesterday.
If it was long enough, I just say 16 because I don't want people to know I've got this disorder.
Okay. So you get time. Time is a big gray area.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, got it. Okay, I get that. Okay, so you have this Facebook account for a decade and a half ish. Let's just put it in that region right there. 80,000 followers. Someone sends you a note, says, "Hey, we need to get you on a podcast to give you $5,000. We just need your Facebook passwords and login."
No,
and you're like, no problem.
No, they didn't get that. But what they did, I don't know how they do it because again, I'm an idiot.
Well, that's why I'm asking. I'm like asking what happened to you. Like, how did they?
I don't know how they do it. That's why I'm not a scammer because I'd be doing it if I knew how. I wish somebody would tell me how to do it. Yeah, I guess that it looks like you're on a Zoom call. There's no way of deciphering whether it's the real Zoom thing. Yeah. And then he says, go to your Facebook page. And somehow or other, he fucking took control of my page. This happened to me once before, and I did get it back. This is even crazier. All of a sudden, I have no access to my Facebook page, but I can see it. This was when I was 16. I don't know when it was, but and all of a sudden, all my posts are cartoons, not like newspaper cartoons, not moving cartoons, animation.
Yeah.
And they're all softcore pornographic in a different language. I think it was French. And I couldn't stop it. It made no sense to me. At least put hardcore shit on my site and get it canceled. And it went on for 3 weeks before I spoke to somebody.
Cartoon porn on your Facebook feed for 3 weeks.
It wasn't porn. It was so soft it wouldn't, but they were like risque
like anime
comics.
Yeah, okay. All right. So
but it didn't rise to the level of Chester the Molester from Hustler magazine. Do you remember Chester the Molester?
I do, but not a lot of people listening to this will. Because it was like,
let me tell you my favorite, because I did a paper on it on obscene humor when I was at York University, and it's two guys who look like inbred hillbillies. Sure. And there's a woman, and she's torn into pieces in a puddle of blood, and they both got chainsaws. And the caption is, "Gee, Gus, don't you think we should have raped her first?" All right, so you may lose your whatever you're on now. And I walked around with many cartoons of that ilk, with the Bristol board, because I was doing the paper on it and getting people to describe to me how offensive they thought this.
Okay, you're not telling the joke to be a prick. You're not telling the joke to be an asshole. You're just, it was for a psychological study you did about egregious humor back in the day in school. Yeah. Okay, I get that's different.
I love dirty jokes, and no one is going to stop me from doing it. For example,
YouTube stopped you from doing them when they took away your sex account, right?
No, that was for X-Rated, a series they did.
Okay, sorry.
But anyway, so this is a joke that I love, and it's horrible, but I can't stop saying it because I know how funny it is. So the father takes his daughter to a gynecologist. The gynecologist says, "How may I help you?"
I don't think I want to hear this.
Okay, then I won't do it. I won't do it. It doesn't matter to me. I know the joke. I do it on stage all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's on stage. It's not like a publicly hosted event. Why don't you just do the punchline? I'm a huge fan of just punchlines, by the way. Like, my favorite punchline is when Daddy goes to bingo. That's one of my favorite punchlines of all time.
Okay, the punchline is no, she just lays there like her mother. I don't know. That's like a kink if you just like punchline for jokes. I don't know why. To me, it's just a bunch of
Because you can do so much more. Like I find that if you just give the punchline, you stay away from all that trouble, right? Like you stay away from all of it. Like if you do a punchline and the last line is, and the rabbi says X, you've missed all that other racism, right? And then everybody's minds go like, what kind of racist brilliance was that?
If there's no context. But anyways,
well, you don't need context for a punchline. It's the whole idea. Listen, Spenny, can I ask you a couple questions? Because I wanted to have you on the show because we text all the time, right? And we text about things that I think some people talk about publicly, try to curate arguments about publicly. And you're one of the rare people in my life that I value because you wear your heart on your sleeve. Like your values, your perspectives, they can change. You ask questions. You're not one of those guys that goes out there and tells people, this is what's going on in the world. Fuck you guys. We're this, we're that. And watching you, for lack of a better term, and I love you, watching you melt down through a couple of different world issues over the past couple of years has been educational for me in a really cool way. And I'll tell you why. It's because not many people have the vulnerable attitude that you have of like, I don't know what's going on. Can someone explain it to me? Everybody wants to make statements. But this Gaza-Israel thing, October 7th of this year,
yes.
I mean, you and I have had several pointed conversations in text, on the phone, in DMs, about your change in attitude, about education, about frustration, about anger. And I know we like to label ourselves, but I want your opinion as someone who is Jewish, who appreciates great jokes, who has a history and a litany of conversations about, mocking and making fun of faith, religion, race. Of course, I remember your show. I remember the KKK episode. I remember all those things. You always had this ability to be able to kind of take those conversations and turn them into funny bits, right? But this isn't a funny bit. This is a war where lots of people are dying, and we see it perpetrated on TV every day or on social media every day, where we're being asked to believe something else, look a certain way. But, you've worn your heart on your sleeve, and I wanted to kind of get into some of it because you make some great points in as much as it is difficult to know what to believe. But if you are someone from that region, it is unbelievably chaotic, right?
Of course. Is that a question?
No, I want my question is, how are you dealing with this? Because your perspective is incredible.
Because as you know better than anyone, two things can be true at the same time. So, I can support Israel, which essentially I'm doing with some caveats, but also think it's an absolute tragedy that innocent people are dying on both sides. Both things can be true. An event that I can't control is playing out in a place far from where I live. And I'm allowed to discuss it. I'm allowed to talk about the controversies surrounding it and the difficulties in solving it and understanding it. But what I'm having a lot of trouble with, and I'm not going to say anti-Semitism because I don't know if people are anti-Semitic. I think they're just fucking dumb. Just today, I got two texts accusing Israel of genocide. Mm-hmm. To which I go to a dictionary online, take a picture of genocide and its definitions, and Israel is not committing genocide. Hamas would like to, probably, if they had their way.
Well, they certainly tried on October 7th, right?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, that's a single attack, but they're not trying. Israel is not trying to remove Palestinians, period, and destroy the country in its total. And how do we know that? Because they're capable of doing that if they want
to. And have been for decades.
Yes,
right?
yes. So this goes into a lot of political stuff for me. So now the woke, of which I felt a sort of kinship to, I despise them now. Not all of them, of course, and I do agree with some of the tenets of wokeism, if you want to call it that. But I see very clearly now how absolutely ignorant, how virtue signally they are.
Yeah.
Virtue signally is a verb.
It is now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sickening. It makes me sick and angry. And I feel like I don't really have a a side anymore. I've now come to the place where many people are that, and you're kind of like that because you don't love Trudeau. You certainly don't like Polyev.
No, I don't like politics at all. I don't
Right.
like politicians. I don't like politicians. I don't like politics, and I don't like sides. Like when you're forced into one of two sides, right? And we're always forced into one of two sides.
Or
Well,
tyranny. Tyranny.
yeah, and depending on who's saying the word, and depending on where they're pointing, maybe there might be tyranny, maybe there isn't. But to your point, I find it fascinating because you feel like you have to take a side. That's what I'm hearing in your conversation.
No, I don't. I don't have to. I am taking a side.
And your side is what? And I've got an example
Is
of
that Netanyahu is not a guy that you want.
He's a criminal. Yeah, he's an authoritarian criminal. Yep.
Yeah, he's that, and he's also going to use his IDF to maybe have a disproportionate response to what happened. I don't know if there can be a disproportionate response to a group of people that I hate to go through it. It's so obvious to me. That don't believe that Israel should exist, that want every Jew dead, and that's the genocide. It's a wishful genocide, but thank God it's not happening. Mm-hmm. So it's what bothers me is that when you look at Hamas, for example, and to a certain extent the Muslim extremes, and maybe not just the extremes, I don't like the culture. I don't like it in Christianity. I don't like it in Judaism, and I don't like it. So it's
the extreme culture of each one of those Abrahamic faiths. That's what you don't like.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like how they view women. I don't like how they view gayness, homosexuality. Yeah. I don't like the dogma that they live out every day. Mm-hmm. I'm sure
the hypocritical dogma that they live out every day.
It's evil. Yeah. It's not to me. It's just evil. It's hypocritical. I'm sure it is. I just don't like it. So I'm seeing people that are creating a false equivalency between Israel and Hamas.
Yeah. Yeah, from both sides, right? And I want to bring up a video that kind of proves that out. I've got a couple videos that come with you today that I think are interesting. And this video is fascinating because, you see, and I'll follow it with another one that'll kind of prove your point about why you hate woke people and the virtue signaling and the ramming of this inclusionary belief down your throat. Because at some point, overt inclusiveness becomes exclusive. It becomes pointed. It becomes angry and wrong.
I would say irrational.
Totally irrational. Yeah. And as much as I don't really give a shit about Marco Rubio, he nailed it. He was approached by a woman wearing a pink backpack talking about the genocide of children, just children in Gaza.
No, right? No, actually, first it was generally people, and then
she went to babies.
Yeah,
but I want you to listen. We'll break this down. Yeah, but this is one of those really easy to buy into, easy to debunk general statements where someone's trying to have a gotcha moment with Marco Rubio about the death of just the children or just the innocents. And listen, we all get it. That's a cop-out. You told me that the last time. I'm only in it for the innocents. Well, it's not really going to cut it in this conversation. And I'll point this out. This is as you would call it, the ultra woke. I call it extreme left. We've just got poles in extreme left and extreme right. And they horseshoe around to the same, need for chaos or totalitarianism. But let me just play this interaction with a woke superstar talking about the genocide of children and Marco Rubio, and then we'll get to it in just a second.
Senator Rubio, will you call for ceasefire
No, I will not.
in Gaza?
On the contrary.
Senator Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
so I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
let me introduce.
Yeah, please.
What I love that he said was when she said, "What about the babies?" What did he say? It's horrible or horrifying, whatever he said. Which it is. Years ago, when I was a kid, there was a movie out called Return Engagement, and it was a documentary that followed, believe it or not, the acid guru Timothy Leary and Watergate's G. Gordon Liddy as they did a debate tour around U.S. college campuses. And so they would show them sort of when they weren't debating. It was an entertaining movie, but they showed a lot of what the debates were. And at one point, some guy stands up in the audience, a student, I assume, who was blind. And he said that someone was stoned on LSD and shot him in the face, which is why he was blind. And the question was directed for Dr. Timothy Leary. And he said, how does that make you feel? And Timothy Leary said, terrible. And that was the perfect answer, just like what Marco Rubio said. You can, what I get now is as soon as I show support for Israel, the genocide name comes up, and I don't care about civilians, and I don't care.
You love dead babies. Yeah.
It's disingenuous, it's irrational, and it's horrible. I don't control these things. Netanyahu is in power in Israel, not you, not me, not her. And I deal with the realities that are on the ground. And I'm so sick of having to explain to people what's in Hamas's charter, how they stole aid money and built miles and miles of tunnels, how they are committed. They just did they not just reject a ceasefire for 2 months?
2 months ceasefire to return 100 hostages. They said, no, keep bombing us, keep bombing our people, keep killing everybody, keep bombing the hospitals. There were 36 hospitals in Gaza. There are now none. And the reason why there are none is not because IDF is indiscriminately blowing up hospitals. The reason why there are none is because under every church and school and hospital, these jackoffs, these terrorists with Hamas built their headquarters and weapons caches.
Yeah.
And they use these people as human shields, which they are continuing to do. And they are continuing to coax more ammo, more bombs. They're continually saying, no, we're not going to give you what you want. Fuck the police. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because the rest of the Muslim extremists in that region are willing to sacrifice, including Hamas, every single civilian. And they started doing it when they started hiding underneath protected areas.
It's a PR war. And
100%.
And what's breaking my heart is that it's working because people are so fucking dumb and they're so sure. Now, I excuse some of it. I think I sent you a video of a group that was protesting Israel and they were asked questions.
Oh, dude, this speaks to what you're saying. I'm going to play this right now. By the way, the reporter, very attractive. And I want to point this out, that this is a lot of protests. This isn't just the Gaza Palestinian protests. This is a lot of protests where people show up and they're all full of piss and vinegar and they got signs that are handed to them because they're paid to do this. A lot of these people are paid and they're students and they get $100 for the afternoon and they have no fucking idea why they are there. Let's watch this.
Hi. So as it turned out, hate, anti-Semitism made its way to Sundance Film Festival, where people are calling for a ceasefire now, which is exactly what we had on October 6th before Hamas slaughtered all these Jews.
From the river to the sea, Palestine needs to be free from the occupation, which is illegal.
What's the river?
I forgot the river's name,
sea?
But the sea is the Red Sea.
So where is the river and the sea that everybody's chanting about?
I think it's the Black Sea and the river on the other side of Gaza.
Okay, so it's the Black Sea and the river on the other side of Gaza.
The Palestinian genocide, it's just awful.
What about the hostages? Do you know about the hostages?
Unfortunately, I'm not that educated about that part.
The occupation is illegal. Even chocolate is not allowed. Wedding dresses are not allowed. It's been this way for over 15 years.
It's a genocide. It's not about Hamas. It's not.
How is it not about Hamas?
It's not about Hamas. Isn't even there.
Isn't where? Hamas isn't where?
Even in Gaza.
Hamas is not in Gaza. The Jews are in Gaza.
The Jews.
Are there hostages in Gaza right now?
Oh, I don't know.
I know. I got this from someone else.
He gave it to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
No.
What are you demonstrating for or against?
Against the occupation of Palestine.
So support for the Black Sea to the other river to be liberated.
To be liberated from the occupation.
Does Israel have the right to exist at all?
I think the state of Israel should be dissolved.
So do you know what happened to women on October 7th?
I've heard things. I've also heard that they're not confirmed.
Not confirmed. The rape incidences are not confirmed?
Not sure.
What about the hostages?
Fire no!
Are there any hostages?
No!
So this is it, a demonstration at Sundance Film Festival calling for the genocide of Jews. As you can see, some of the people don't even know what it is that they're talking about. Our youth have been poisoned to such a level that blatant anti-Semitism is allowed. And it's just unfortunate. So we're all calling for freedom in the region. This is not the way to do it.
Yeah, I love her coat.
I'm calling for her phone number. That's what I'm calling for.
Is that what you're calling for?
Listen, I'll give, when you're young,
yeah,
and you don't have the weight of family, mortgages, adulthood, career.
Nice way of saying when you're dumb and you're stupid. But
yes,
go ahead.
Yes, when you're dumb and stupid, you want to feel in a narcissistic way that you're doing the right thing. But as someone who's not young, I feel it's my duty to tell them how fucking dumb they are and how much I hate them because it's appalling. It's appalling that you could go protest something and not have a clue what you're protesting. It's appalling.
What's amazing about that statement, Spen, and it is appalling that anybody speaks about things that they know nothing about. Like it amazes me. But in a snapshot, in a microcosm, right, is you just said something that I've been saying for 3.5, almost 4 years about every single person that rails against things they don't understand and is willing to go and give their time, their mental energy, their positive energy, their vibe to something they don't understand. An afternoon standing in the rain with a placard that someone gave you because you don't understand it. 3 weeks in Ottawa with a whole bunch of other hillbillies because you don't understand it. And we live in this time when those people that don't understand things are mad because they are as dumb as they are. And they're looking for someone else to blame. And we also live at a time where any dummy will do anything for $100, right? And so whether you're being paid to go to an anti-Trudeau rally, which has happened, whether you're being paid to go to a political rally, whether you're paid to go to a Gaza rally, they're not paying smart people who have a deep understanding of foreign policy, extremism. They're paying dummies that will do anything for $100. They're paying, and if they're not paying it, they're really happy to get the extra stupid people who will do it for free. So
you said $100. Can you give them my number, Dean?
Yeah. 135. Some people in 2019 got paid by Jeff Ballingall and Canada Proud, who, by the way, is suing us for telling this story.
What's happening? What is happening with that? By the way?
I'll tell you in a second. They sued us for suggesting that they pay people to go and protest, which in 2019, big article about them paying people $135, including parking, to dress like bananas and show up on behalf of Canada Proud's street team to go and agitate Justin Trudeau and a political party. So, if you don't understand the economy of protesting and how important protesting is, and I want to draw your attention to Germany over the past few days.
I've been following that.
Have you seen some of the anti-AFD rallies? AFD is the Alternative for Deutschland, which is really a fancy way, reinvented way of saying the old Nazi party, the hard right, deportation, work camps, fuck immigration, fuck religion, get everybody out, hardline shit. So millions and millions of people in Germany have been rallying together silently against the ideology of fascism. They're saying, hey, listen, we're going to get together. These rallies have been well put together. There have been no hot tubs. No one's been punched in the face. Everybody shows up. And I'm talking like in Hamburg yesterday, 280,000 people. Cologne, they had 200,000 people. Munich, they had 700,000 people show up. Not 8,000 people in Ottawa. Not 80 people at Sundance. Not 17 people at University and King. I'm talking about real people who showed up to say, fuck this noise, right? That's the difference between a real movement and a fake movement. And unfortunately, that movement, which pisses you off so much, which captures the attention of every stupid person that thinks protests are awesome because they're not, they go, I'm going to get $100. I'm going to show up to this thing and Spenny's going to get all mad. And you know who's really happy about the misdirection? You know who's really happy about this PR war? Is Iran, Hamas, Putin, China, because we're sitting here fighting each other over something, and all they're doing is sending idiots who are taking a break from university and other dumb people who spend too much time on Facebook to come and just disrupt our way of life and tell us what we're seeing isn't real. What we're seeing is very real. October 7th was a terror attack via a extremist Muslim terrorist group where they beheaded, raped, and murdered 1,700 people in Israel.
Listen, by the way, you can be against, I'm not going to make the classic, you can be anti-Israel and not be an anti-Semite. That goes without saying. You can also say that, you know what, Israel has a disproportionate offensive to what's happened. And if you can argue that in a way without talking about genocide, which is a total gaslight of what's happening, I'll respect you. So it's not like I'm saying it's Israel or you're dumb. I don't think you're saying that either.
No.
It's just a certain type of person that unfortunately seem to be the loudest and the most brazen, that you can tell very quickly how, and I don't even think they're anti-Semitic. They're just, I don't know what they are, but it's still.
I think we covered it. They're just dumb.
Okay. So, it's just very clear to me that the idea that Israel is like them, that it's an equal sort of thing, just seems absurd to me on the surface. But I don't want anyone to think that that means Israel gets carte blanche. I don't like Netanyahu. I haven't liked them for years. That's not what I'm fighting against, and what's making me so angry.
No, you're not. You're angry because you're being told what to believe and what to think. It's generally speaking everybody's anger on social media, right? Especially when it's wrong and you know different.
A genocide is one side trying to obliterate another group of people and or a country. Which of the two really subscribes to that fucking ethos?
Just Hamas.
Yeah.
Just Hamas.
Exactly.
Just Hamas. Have you received an education about Judaism? Because I'll tell you, I have. Like, anytime we go through these things, one of the things that you can choose to do, right, is you can choose to educate yourself so you can understand it, so you can speak about it. And I've watched you try to speak about it. And you and I have talked about some of the crazier parts of this thing where, you've got Orthodox Jews popping out of like tunnels and sidewalks. You've got, and then I'm like, I sent you a note the other day. I'm like, what's with all this? Can you explain it to me? You've got different sects of Jews. You've got different denominations of Jews. You've got the same thing with Muslims. So like, have you been sort of surprised by the reaction? Have you received sort of an education about your culture and history a little bit too?
Well, I have for many years been publicly against Orthodox Jews, although they're not nearly as toxic as Hamas, but they're toxic to me, in my opinion. The tunnel thing, I don't know, man. Did you know what? I'm asking you. I don't really know what the fuck that was.
Dude, I just saw on social media. So I read this story because I saw this video. I'm like, all these guys in like kippas and the curly hair. What do they call them? Payas. All the payas and the kippas and the glasses and the flare. They got the scarf, the nice scarf with the tassels on it. Whatever. I don't know what
Did you see the Goodfellas send up?
Yeah.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Without question. But the videos are great because it's
Dreidel.
It's like Hasidic Jew after Hasidic Jew just popping out of the sidewalk out of nowhere, and I'm like, what is this? And apparently they built this extensive tunnel system underneath the synagogue for whatever purposes. I don't know, to get to and from places, to hide things. I don't know, but I found it fascinating, and I'm like, all right, I want to know what Spenny thinks about this.
Yeah, no, the only thing I've heard that makes any sense to me, because I don't think there's been a weapons cache found or anything of that nature. I could be wrong. I haven't followed it that closely. Is that within the Hasidic or whatever Orthodox sect it is, there's as you said, a rebel sect that wanted to have their own area at the synagogue. I have no idea if this is true or not true. It could just been a place where they go have sex with women. I have no fucking clue. But of course, it's going to be used and propagandized as something other than probably what it is, though it could be nefarious. I mean, I don't know, but it was just, to me, the greatest thing was that Goodfellas thing. That made it all worthwhile. Johnny Cradle and Tony Torra.
Dude, they had the story went viral on just Rolling Stone. Initially reported a small sect of Hasidic Jews built an elaborate system of underground tunnels beneath the streets of Brooklyn for no clear reason. Sparked an onslaught of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. As you know, they call them Jewish tunnels, Zionist tunnels. Sure. Quote, secret underground tunnels, blood-soaked mattresses, baby strollers, getting real strong Simon of Trent vibes here, one influencer wrote, referring to the dangerous anti-Semitic blood libel conspiracy theory from the Middle Ages involving the murder of a Christian child that resulted in 15 members of the Jewish community being burned at the stake. So, like, it didn't go without, obviously, jokes. I just didn't know what you thought of it, like, because I wanted to know.
Look,
is this a thing? Is this?
I think, as I do with everything, if it's what they
does every extremist in the Abrahamic faith are they just master tunnel builders?
No, whatever it is, whyever it is, and they know and someone will find out and write about it. If they broke the law, they should be held accountable. I would say that about anybody. I have no. People think you have, because let's be honest. We're living in an idiocracy. And one of the symptoms of the idiocracy is binary thinking. And that's what's driving me fucking crazy, to the point of anger and a little bit of depression, just how narcissistic and binary people are. That there just has to be a simple answer, a right and wrong, a good and a bad. Mm-hmm. And it's just, the world gets more and more complex on a daily basis. And yet it seems intellectually we're becoming more simple. It's just, it's maddening.
Yeah, it is, but there's silver linings, like some of the humor that I've seen over the past little bit. Like, you only have to pick, like, the world is so messed up between Gaza, Ukraine, Israel, Russia, that I welcome Trump content now. Like, I don't know if you're following some of his latest full-on Dimension Dawn stuff.
Yes.
He's never been funnier to me. Like, he's like an outlet now. Before, like, for 4 years when he was the president, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. This is an affront to society. I can't believe the world has gotten so much worse since then. I'm like, just give me some more Trump stuff, please.
Right. Well, again, I'm pretty sure you're saying that sort of tongue in cheek. I think.
I don't think so, dude. Are you not watching some of this stuff?
Do you want him to be president again so you can laugh like a child? I'm not that far gone. Apparently, you are. But
I don't know if I. Well, listen. Let me play you this clip, and then you tell me if you can enjoy this. Okay.
Well, I'll totally enjoy it.
Okay. This is Donald Trump talking. I played this yesterday with Locke. It's too fun for me. Okay. Talking about the difference between gas and corn.
Okay.
And we have more liquid gold and wealth under our feet than any other nation. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas, more liquid gold. Well, I just met non-liquid gold. You know where it was? Iowa. It's called corn. It's non-liquid. That's my take. You have more non-liquid gold. They said, what is that? I said, corn. They said, we love that idea. That's a pretty cool thought, isn't it? That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
Come on. Dude, did you ever see A Mighty Wind?
Yes, of course.
Fred Willard? You ever see Best in Show?
Fred Willard will be forever missed.
You ever see Best in Show? Fred Willard's my favorite.
I've seen all of Christopher Guest's movies.
That is Christopher Guest shit. That is Fred Willard talking about the difference between oil and corn. One's a liquid, the other one's solid, and then he's like, gives it a great nickname with no nickname. Did you know?
Yeah, I mean, look. I'm not sure what you're saying.
Hang on. Let me play this for you again, and just close your eyes.
You're going to forsake democracy for a juvenile sense of humor, which seems a little extreme to me.
I know the dangers there that he might become the next president. Do you want this guy to become dude? I'm done asking the question. Are you really going to elect this guy? Because they might. And they did. And this is what they get.
By the way, can I just say this? Yeah. I maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that he will. He wants to be a dictator. He identifies with dictators. He loves dictators. He's going to do everything he can to manipulate the system to maybe become a dictator. Yeah. But I don't think he will or can actually, if he wins, overstay the 4 years. I would think there must be something in the Constitution that allows the army to come in and remove his fucking orange ass from the Oval Office if this ever comes to pass.
Well, then we wouldn't get incredible stories like the one that he told where he likened himself to a pedophile priest that you should just let go, right? Like this.
But it's a little bit like the police. So you have a rogue cop. You know what a rogue cop is? Very seldom, but you have bad people. You have people, no matter where, no matter what. In the church, you have some people that aren't so good, right? But you have people, a rogue cop or a bad apple, whatever. And what they do is they make it so that you catch, so that it can't happen. And therefore, everyone else is allowed to commit crimes, murders, like at levels that we've never seen before. No, we're going to have to do this. Immunity for the president. If you have a president that doesn't have immunity, he's never going to be free to do anything because the opposing party will always indict him as soon as he leaves the White House.
I mean,
I honestly, I mean, I understand the.
How could you not look forward to that, dude? Spen, how could you not? I hope he never goes that way. I hope when he dies, I hope he dies soon, kind of. But I hope that as long as he's alive, he's allowed to say stuff. Because
Right.
I have never found him funnier. And he's going to get neutered during the election. I don't think I think at the right time, sort of like the rest of the world comes to its senses unless you're in Argentina and then you're like some fucking crackpot. But that's Argentina. This is not a third world country. These are not third world countries, depending on what state you're in, obviously, in the United States, and depending on how north you go in Alberta and Saskatchewan. These are not third world countries. But I fucking love the guy now. Like, I think did you see his debanking comment?
Debanking? No, I missed that one.
Yeah, I can't.
I saw the Gulf War in Vietnam comment, which was, I think, today or yesterday. That was a good one.
No, dude, like, how could you not look forward to this guy speaking every time he speaks and not put him in that classification as there's Crazy Don again. He's got syphilis dementia.
Put him out of politics.
Yeah.
Put him in a room. Or
let him just talk.
Get cameras at Mar-a-Lago and have the Trump channel.
One of the greatest, dude, I would love to set up his live stream where you just he gets up in the morning, turns it on, and he just talks. He just says stuff because he's absolutely lost his fucking mind. Listen to this.
But we're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your country. The things you're doing, all electric cars, give me a break. If you want an electric car, good. But they don't go far. They're very expensive. They're going to be.
I think you've lost it, Dean. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I have.
I think
no. The fact that anybody takes that guy seriously anymore is beyond me. Like, everybody should be doing what we're doing right now.
Millions of people.
Yeah, I know. And I find that awesome, too. I'm here for that con. You see some of the videos of these guys? There's this redneck they were talking to the other day, and they're like, would you vote for Donald Trump if he got convicted of all those crimes? You're like, goddamn right I would. Goddamn right I would. You know why? He's been here from the Lord. That's why.
Look, the reality is they can't win unless they cheat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So there we are. There you have it. So that's why I've seen interviews with MAGA people saying they're okay with the dictatorship as long as it's not Biden.
Yeah.
And it's translate that into he's going to lose again.
Yeah.
I want a dictator so he can't lose.
I know. I don't want a dictator, but I just don't want him to go anywhere.
No, I know the entertainment value is
off the charts.
Yes.
Off the charts.
I've said that for years.
I know you have, and I haven't listened. I've been too mad, and now I'm completely turned around. I feel that way about Canadian politics too. When you see some guy popping off, or someone gets beat up at a rally, I'm like, this is awesome. Thank you, Canada, for waking up to American-style politics. It's way more entertaining than the original politics of Canada had, where it's like 3 months, and we're like, we'll have an election. Everybody decide. Here's a pamphlet. I'm like, no, now we're watching people get beat at rallies and stuff, horse tramplings. We're watching protests around all over the place. I know it makes everybody uncomfortable, but my God, this is the most entertaining time in political history.
I'm still going to vote Liberal. I'm very annoyed at
PP.
Trudeau for the way he's sort of speaking out of both sides of his mouth. But at the end of the day, he's a politician.
Yeah, I hate them all equally.
Yeah. So, but but I'm getting very close to like not giving a fuck and just voting for PP just because I've given up, or not voting at all. But whatever. I'm just very emotional. I'm not really built. I think you're much more built for this than I am. I'm a musician and a comedian, and when I way too deep into the politics, and it just gets so depressing and frustrating. And I don't even know what's real anymore. So I was off it, by the way. I don't know if you know. I literally stopped all of
last time you were on the podcast. You told me you were going to pop off Twitter. You're done.
Well, and then October 7th happened, and
Here
it's
he comes.
like, you ever see that commercial during the Reagan era where they had the rat with cocaine in this little bottle thing?
Yeah.
He keeps going back to it until he fucking dies. That's me and social media. I've got a little bit of a handle on it, but a lot less than I did pre-October 7th. But then I looked at Michael Rappaport and Lee Kern. Those guys are.
Oh, Rappaport, he is off the chain right now, dude. He is so motivated. It is unbelievable. I don't agree with half the shit he says, but it's not for me to agree with or disagree. I find him incredibly entertaining. This is the most entertaining Rappaport's ever been. But
how can he be an actor after this? I
don't think he can.
Well, he was. I just saw him with my kids. Love the show Murder in the Building with Steve Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Only Murders in the Building, I think it's called. And he was on it. He played a detective. And it was just like I just couldn't look past especially the herpes sore that they keep. This is the level of politics. He's got a cold sore. So now there's a picture of him with the cold sore, which is every time he posts anything, there's like 300 pictures. They're getting closer and closer on the cold sore.
But yeah, anytime he says something, he comes off and he does a rant video on the hostages or anything. It's literally in his replies. 4,000 pictures of him with a cold sore.
Well, by the way, Dean, as a friend, if you ever see me going, call me and tell me to just get off the media.
Dude, I wouldn't do what he's doing, but hey, it's his own conviction. Spenny, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, can I ask you about Pee Pee Poo Poo Man?
Yes. This is a motion picture shot on video. That I have a part in. I believe I appear at the end of the trailer, and my neck waddle. I'd lost some weight since then, so
you look great, by the way.
No, yeah, and thank you. Yeah, and it's a true story, as you know. It's based on the true story of the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man, which is one of the great Canadian crime stories of all time.
What is this story?
You don't know it?
The Pee Pee Poo Poo Man? Is this some dude that was shitting all over the place?
Yeah,
no, I don't know the story.
Look it up. He was a real guy in Toronto, and he was going around dumping poo and pee on people. So I get a call from a director who said, I've got a part for you in this.
2019.
Look it up. I mean, I guess we don't want to keep looking up.
2019. I'm asking because Toronto police arrest a man alleged through.
Have you watched the trailer? Have you watched the trailer, John?
I have. I'm trying to set this. Dude, not everybody's been with us all day. I'm trying to set the scene. Toronto police arrest a man who allegedly threw feces at 5 people. Toronto police arrest. This is in 2019. 23-year-old man accused of throwing shit at 5 people in 3 separate incidents. It's a photo of the aftermath in the incident.
How can I, as an artist, say no to appearing in a film like this? It's not possible. They could have paid me in literally the sunflower seed shells. I would have showed up on set.
Hang on, I gotta bring this up because the copy of this is incredible. Can you see them hosing the street down here? Oh no, it's right here. I gotta bring it up. You gotta see them hosing the street.
Yes, as well they should. Show the trailer for fuck's sake.
But hang on. Samuel Opoku, 23, was arrested in Queen Street, Spadina. Police wouldn't say exactly where he was arrested. Yeah, I guess not. Police said the man was charged a man with 5 counts of assault with a weapon and 5 counts of mischief, interfering with property due to appear in court. In a news release, cops said he entered Robarts Research Library at 130 St. George Street, University of Toronto campus. Dumped a bucket of feces on a woman with a child seated at the table. What a dick.
Maybe that's why Robarts committed suicide.
Oh, I remember this guy.
Right.
He's a construction worker.
Yeah.
And he was picking up dumps, putting them in buckets, and then dumping the dumps all over people around Toronto because he was pissed at everybody about something, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, can I just say this, that my followers are very funny. So a couple of them have, when I posted the trailer, have wrote, I believe this is going to be the #1 and #2 movie in the country. Like good fucking jokes.
Here's the trailer. The movie is aptly titled Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. Spenny, Spencer Rice from Kenny versus Spenny is a feature.
By the way, just so you know the state of my career, I am not the star of this. I'm
You're in it.
I'm in the trailer, which is good.
Okay. In the trailer. Let's watch the trailer of Pee Pee Poo Poo Man together.
Toronto police are investigating after 2 separate disturbing incidents.
Details are emerging of a disturbing crime, and the weapon of choice will turn your stomach. If you are squeamish, the details of this story may be difficult to hear.
I was definitely traumatized and very disgusted by this very lowly act.
Fire crews had to hose down the sidewalk.
I'm just kind of worried about it. Like, it's just really gross that this thing's happening.
Tall man wearing a yellow construction hat.
This is like the original violence.
Just can't understand why anybody would go around and do this kind of thing.
I'm gonna throw up.
Why would somebody grab a bucket of poop and dump it on somebody's head?
I will never forget that smell.
The Pee Pee Poo Poo Man, they're calling you.
This is going to be good, man. But I'm freaking out a bit. It's disgusting.
That is a true story. You're 100% right. I totally remember that. 2019. Everybody freaked out because they couldn't believe this construction guy, prior to going to work or coming home from work, was somehow able to come into a whole bunch of poop and pee. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't know where he got it from. Apparently he got it from some porta johns. That was my understanding.
What I forgot is, and perhaps this is why they thought of me when they created this illustrious art piece, I threw poo in Kenny's face in the Who's the Better Boxer competition.
That's right.
I've always described as one of the greatest moves I've ever pulled, and it makes me less of an atheist because I would never think to do that. So it had to be from above and below, I guess. And so maybe that's why they chose me.
For the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man part?
No, I'm not playing the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
What are you playing in the movie?
I'm playing
at the end. You, by the way, looked a lot fatter there. You really did.
I know. A journalist, everybody pointed that out, as they do on my social media. I play a journalist who's tracking down the story and trying to get to the bottom of it. Pardon the pun.
All right. Yeah, they did get to the bottom. I won't tell people what the movie's about, and I won't tell you how the movie ends, but they find the guy. I'm just letting you know. But it was a thing for about a week where they were like, someone's dumping shit on people in like parks and stuff.
And if anybody is here from Kingston, I'm going to be playing at the Royal 2.0 Tavern on Thursday night. Come on by. And thank you, Dean.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for doing this. Sorry, where are you again? At Spenny is where you can find him on Twitter.
At Spenny on X.
Not Facebook.
Facebook is closed down. We went through that earlier. Instagram, I'm still on. And that's all I know.
All right. Check it out. Appreciate it. By the way, had a little talk about Kenny this week.
Nice.
Who's interested in podcasting. I don't know if you talked to him or if you guys are still mad at each other, if you like each other anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I love him. But what's he
sure.
talking about? Doing his own podcast?
Yep, coming on with us. Yeah. And doing a podcast with you. Yeah. Are you not his business partner?
Yes and no. We do stuff together. We do stuff apart. So he never tells me anything until it's a done deal. So anyways.
Okay. It's probably good because you don't understand time.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Great to see you.
Right.
Spencer Rice, ladies and gentlemen. One of the more honest people I know. Great guy. One of the greatest. Literally, he's the most inquisitive guy I've ever met. If he doesn't know an answer to something, he calls. He doesn't go and pop off. And then if I don't know the answer, I look it up and then I send it to him. He's like, thanks. And I'm like, you could have Googled it yourself. He's like, I was busy. I had a martini in my hand. I can't martini and Google at the same time. Thanks to Spenny for coming on today. Thanks everybody for spending a little bit of time with us. As always, we're brought to you by our friends at CanTorque, makers of the world's greatest rugged, hard-working torque wrenches. Canada's leading industrial tool experts, offering the very best in sales, service, rentals, calibration, maintenance, and custom fabrication of industrial torque tools. Reliability you can trust. You can rely on the highest quality products designed by absolute professionals. They have unparalleled expertise. Canada's leading industrial tool experts for the past 20 years. Their expertise, knowledge, they bring it all to the table, providing you with comprehensive solutions for any bolting project or any bolting need. They want to save you time, effort, and hassle. They've also got distribution opportunities. So if you're looking for a gig and you know the space, you need a job, cantorque.com. You can also check out everything they do. You can spec out equipment. You can get in touch with Colin, the principal, the owner, the founder, who might be one of the coolest guys on the planet, Colin Livingston. Cantorque.com. Check out their new website today. Canada's leading industrial tool experts, CanTorque. Go to cantorque.com for more information. Also brought to you by our friends over at Gitch. Canada's #1 luxury boxer brief with the pouch in the front, engineered for any level of performance as well as everyday life. Buy 3, get 1 free. Use promo code GITCH3 at checkout. Not only are these things super breathable, not only are they barely there, not only are they incredibly soft, they keep you cool, they're moisture wicking, and you'll love these underwear. Gentlemen, if you've been looking for a new pair of Gitch, I've got your Gitch. They're called Gitch. Go to edsfineimports.com, promo code GITCH3 at checkout. You'll get a free pair. Also 15% off when you give them your email address. Super easy on your entire purchase. Clothing for men and boys, massive online store. Ed is one of the nicest human beings on the planet as well, and he's invented the world's greatest boxer brief. Go and get them today. Gitch at edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your checkout code. And, of course, Muse on the Mic, Canada's biggest and most important sex work advocacy podcast with Emily and Riley. These two girls are incredible. Go to Muse Massage Spa for more details. MuseMassageSpa.com. They're located at 1290 Finch Avenue West. It is exactly what you think it is. Licensed body rub, the best in Canada. Not only that, these ladies like to educate. And not only do they like to educate, they like to advocate. That's what Muse on the Mic is. It's their branded podcast, anywhere you get your fine podcasts, including Patreon, where you get the real juice. But their podcast is also available at Crier Media. Go to crier.ca, crier.co for more details. Again, Muse on the Mic, the podcast. Download it today. MuseMassageSpa.com for more details. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for being part of the show. Really appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow on this very podcast. Don't forget Charles Adler with the former Premier of Alberta. Rachel Notley, now available at the Charles Adler podcast, if you'd like to go and check that out as well. Another Crier Media property. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you spending some time with us. I say this all the time. You can give us your time. You can give us your stuff. But I really appreciate your time. And don't forget, our Canada Proud GoFundMe, you can go and donate to that today as well. Your support is incredibly important. Go to my Twitter feed at It's Dean Blundell for more information. Thank you all. Enjoy your day. See you tomorrow. Bye.